Hi, everybody. I'm Tim Donnelly, play-by-play voice for the Charlotte Rush. It is our midweek Charlotte Rush report on this Tuesday, November the 19th. We're in the coach's office here at the Extreme Ice Center. We're going to talk Charlotte Rush Premier Hockey right now with the head coach and general manager of the Charlotte Rush Premier, Trevor Jewell. We're going to recap the Boston Showcase the Rush participated in last week and also preview a big couple of games at home this weekend against the Richmond Generals. Let's bring in Trevor Jewell. Trevor, 4 games up in the Showcase. The Rush Premier goes 3-1. Very good effort. And let's talk about Game 1, a big 5-1 win over the Boston Bandits. It was Jack Rydell in goal getting the win. But wow, another big game for Artem Mikhailov, a goal and 3 assists. And Trevor, how good is he quarterback in that power play?
Yeah, he's very good. He sees the ice well, moves the puck extremely well, and shoots the puck well. So, I mean, he's a dynamic player, and I think he changes our team when he's in the lineup. And, it was good to have him back after being out for a little while with an injury there. So we're very happy to have him back. And, seeing him perform there and watching him do what he does, it was phenomenal. So that was a great first game back for him, and we're really excited to have him back in the lineup and doing the things he does well.
Think he caught some eyes of the scouts up there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if there were any there. Not really sure if there were. I think I saw maybe 3 the entire time.
Oh, okay. All right, then. And again, the Rush finally coming back on Friday at the Showcase with a big 6-1 win over the South Shore Kings. Luke Fox was in goal for the Rush in that win. And also Ilya Grekovs had a nice game, a goal and 2 assists. And Jimmy O'Kane had a pair of goals. So, Trevor, 2 games and 2 wins. Break this one down for us.
Yeah, obviously, the Saturday or Friday morning there, I think we performed pretty well. I mean, again, South Shore wasn't exactly, the best team we played all year, but they kept coming at us. They had some players that could play, and we capitalized on the chances we got early, and we just continued to keep coming. It was a bit sloppy, I think, for my taste as far as systematically, but. Our puck management wasn't the greatest, and we didn't shoot as much as we should have. But at the end of the day, we got the win, and that's all that matters. And we carried momentum from Friday into Thursday into Friday, and that was a big one for us. So we were happy with that.
By the way, the South Shore Kings are located in Foxborough, Massachusetts, home of the New England Patriots. And Trevor, did you happen to see, was Bill Belichick in the crowd cheering for the South Shore Kings?
No, I don't think so. I mean. Yeah, there weren't many people there watching many games, so I'm not really sure if anybody's watching the games we were at up there.
All right, so the players were kind of on their own, right, for crowd?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I think our elite team watched more of our games than anybody else in the entire freaking building up there. I mean, it's a little bit of a joke to me, in my opinion.
Oh, my, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, let's go to the second game on Friday. Our only defeat of the weekend, a 1-0 loss. And that came to the Chicago Cougars. Jack Rydell back in goal for the Rush. He faced 21 shots. And again, Trevor must have been a good goaltender on the other end of the ice there for the Cougars.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give him credit where it's due. He played well, but I think we also made him look a lot better than he was. If we capitalized on our opportunities, we left rebounds in front of the net, our sticks were in the air, we didn't pound one home, stuff like that. We didn't play as hard as we needed to. We honestly should have won that game about 6-7-1, and with the chances we did have. And then obviously, some sketchy officiating towards the end of the game there. We get some penalties that probably shouldn't have been called, and then obviously none that were called on them. So I was a little upset about that, but they scored on a power play and a rebound, which, again, it is our fault for taking penalties early in the game. But, the latter half of the game, when it's 0-0 like that, some of the penalties that were called or not being called it was a tough one. That was a hard one to swallow because it honestly feels like it was stolen from us because we played extremely well. And we just didn't capitalize on our chances, which is, at the end of the day, our fault. But, it didn't help when some of the calls weren't going your way. So that one stung a lot, I think, in my opinion. And, it's unfortunate because our guys did play really well that game.
Well, again, if I know Trevor Jewell, he's not talking about sour grapes, but the reality of it is, I know the officials do the best job that they can, but there are times when they don't make the right calls, and it definitely ends up, if you're the recipient of those bad calls, it definitely comes back and can hurt you. Well, final game, Trevor, huge win for the Rush, 10-0 shutout over the Connecticut Nighthawks, and a very big game for Alex Davis. He had a goal and 3 assists. Caden Halverson pitched in with a couple of goals, so very nice way to end the showcase with that big shutout win.
Yeah, it was a good win. I think it was actually 10-1 again. The league didn't really do the greatest job of updating the websites and things like that. So, again, it would have helped if they actually had people in the buildings, but it didn't, even though I ran around a few times trying to find them. So yeah, it was actually 10-1, unfortunately. Carly let a squirrely one in there, but the guys played well. It was a very sloppy game. Again, Connecticut isn't the greatest team in the world, but they kept trying, they kept working and stuff like that. But our guys kept filling the net and doing the things we asked them to. So happy with that overall score, but at the same time, there was a lot we needed to work on that game, and I don't think we did do that. But we have a long way to go still.
All right, so the Rush finishes up the showcase 3-1. We turn our attention to this weekend, where the Rush will be taking on the Richmond Generals. A month ago, the Rush Premier split with Richmond, losing the first game by a goal, but then coming back and getting a big 7-4 win. And before we talk to Trevor about Richmond, let's look at the standings right now. The Rush in first place in the Southeast Division of the Premier League, has the Rush with a record of 16-3-1, 33 points. But the Richmond Generals are just 2 points behind with 31 points. The Rush does have a couple of games in hand, but Trevor, as we look to those games this weekend, boy, a couple of wins would help us put a little distance between us and second place Richmond.
Yeah, I think that's very important, and that's exactly what we need to do, especially going into the Thanksgiving break here. They're a good team. They're going to keep coming at us, despite how they play. Whether it's on the edge or whatever they do to win hockey games. But, we have to be aware and know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to come in, try to draw penalties, do stuff after the whistle, and play borderline dirty. So we got to be aware of that stuff. The referees here have to be aware of that, and we have to make sure that we just skate away from everything, focus on us, worry about what we can control, and just make sure we take advantage of the opportunities we're given, and then just go out and win 2 hockey games at the end of the day. And I think that'll be very important for us going into the break.
All right, so the Richmond Generals coming in this weekend. Again, the premier games will be at approximately 8 o'clock Saturday night, and then on Sunday at approximately 12:15. So the Rush, a couple of big games at home with Richmond. One final question and comment for Trevor Jewell. Trevor, we got another kind of new player but old face that joined the premier lineup, defenseman Sawyer Cutler. Talk about where he came from and how he can help this Rush the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's definitely an old face, especially with the beard he's got going on. But he made Corpus this summer. He's been down in Corpus for the past, however many games they've played, close to 20 or so. And then, he was let go last weekend, so he got to us on Sunday night. And we're very happy to have him back. He's a big part of our team, great teammate, great person, and just overall works his bag off every day. And we're very happy to have him back in our locker room. He's an absolute pleasure to coach and a great kid to be around. So, we couldn't be more excited to have him back.
Great to have Sawyer Cutler back with the Charlotte Checkers. He was a first-year player last year, now back with the Rush Premier. Trevor, always appreciate the candid and insightful comments on the Charlotte Rush Premier. Thanks again for being with us on our midweek report, and we look forward to hopefully a couple of big wins against Richmond on Saturday and Sunday.
Thanks a lot, Tim.
All right, Trevor Jewell, head coach and general manager of the Charlotte Rush Premier. Well, again, go to our social media platforms for additional information on the Charlotte Rush, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Don't forget to go to our Charlotte Rush website, our Charlotte Rush YouTube channel, and also the USPHL website. Tons of information about this great league, the USPHL, and this great organization, the Charlotte Rush. I want to thank Adam Knowles for being our cameraman today for our Rush Premier video. And for Trevor Jewell, this is Tim Donnelly. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.